Well, welcome to our live webinar 2.0 series. My name is Nicola Pomponio. Thank you so much for taking the time to log in. The 2.0 series takes a closer look at the smaller production wines. And today we will discuss two high altitude white wines in our portfolio. The first, Alto Vento Pinot Grigio, and second, 50-degree Riesling. We are so excited to be able to virtually travel to Italy and Germany. We are joined by both Dario Distefano of Alto Vento and Stefan Doktor of 50 Degree. Welcome, Dario and Stefan.
Hi, Nicola.
How are you?
Good.
Excellent, excellent. Well, let's begin with Dario. Dario, why don't you just begin by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you, Nicola, again, and thank you for having me at this webinar. It's an honor to be in front of so many people and such a great companies like Mia, Fresh and its partners. Just a quick introduction about me. I'm Italian. I was born in Treviso, in the Veneto region, just off Venice. And I started my first steps into the wine industry right with Miyamoto. In fact, in 2005, I had my first internship at the headquarters in Italy, and I expressed my desire to join the US team. So at that time, Enre welcomed, and the team welcomed me very well. It was a much smaller team than the one that you have today. And it was not long ago, just 15 years ago, but it was a time when we still had to knock on each door, each restaurant, each liquor store, and explaining what Prosecco was. So you can imagine how the world has changed and the good job that you did as a brand ambassador for Prosecco. After, it was a great start for me into the wine industry, and then after that I worked with Italian wineries and international wineries as export director. And now since 2013 I work with an Italian family-owned winery, which is the Pinot Grigio specialist, specialized in Pinot Grigio. So a couple of years ago, I reconnected with Henry at the wine show, and we discussed to work together on a project for an on-premise wine, and that would be Pinot Grigio. So you have a great sales team. We believe to have a good quality Pinot Grigio, and it was a great match, and that's how Alto Vento was born.
Excellent. Why don't you tell us just only about Alto Vento now? Give us a little bit of the history, story.
Sure. Alto Vento means a high wind in Italian, and it's an Italian brand, a wine coming from high altitude vineyards. Why another Pinot Grigio? Well, you have to think that Pinot Grigio is the fourth most popular grape varietal for the US consumer. Not bad for a grape varietal that is usually considered simple, and is not simple at all. You have to think that Pinot Grigio is a mutation of Pinot Noir, and you all know how difficult it is to work on the field and during the harvest with Pinot Noir. Like Pinot Noir, Pinot Grigio has a thick bunch and needs a cooler climate. That's why we think that a high altitude is the perfect spot to grow Pinot Grigio. And what is important for us is also the effect of the wind, the vento. That's why Alto Vento. The wind that blows during the night and day keep the bunch fresh, clean, and dry. Dry is very important because Pinot Grigio is subject to mold. So to be dry, it's a sign of quality in the final wine. It's an Italian Pinot Grigio. I don't know if everybody knows that 45% of the global production of Pinot Grigio comes from Italy, and more precisely from the Northeast, the Delle Venezie appellation, which is one of the biggest appellation for in Europe. And finally, you understood our passion for this grape, Pinot Grigio. we are passionate about the grape varietal, but also for the territory and the people working with us on the fields through the sales force. So because of that, our passion and our respect for it, since vintage 2020, Alto Vento will be certified sustainable, which means that we reduce the use of pesticides and chemicals and replace them with more natural techniques. And also, we do responsible use of water.
Excellent. Where exactly is the winery located, Alto Vento? Maybe we can even show a little map here.
Yeah, you should have a map. And the main winery is located in Dolce, in the Veneto region. And actually, it's on the border over there between Veneto and Trentino. It's the road that goes to the mountains. Um, we have wineries, vineyards there around our winery. But also, what makes Alto Vento unique is that we grow vineyards in other two fantastic spots for Pinot Grigio, Trentino and Friuli. So three regions, they all have in common one thing, the proximity to the Alps. Yeah, thank you for showing them on the map. And we like to stay as close as possible to the territory and press the grapes at the wineries that we have in the other region, because we don't want the grapes we want them to be intact and not ruined during the transportation before the soft pressing. Remember, it's a grape varietal that needs care during the whole process. Um, all the vineyards benefit from the cooler climate of high altitude areas, and the wind, the wind coming from the Alps during the night make a high thermal excursion from day to night. There is also a cool breeze during the day that that gives the freshness to the final wine. Uh, Finally, all the wineries and vineyards are in an area rich of water, of rivers, and you know that rivers play an important role during the maturation of the grapes uh, because they reflect the light and they keep a cooler climate.
That's great. Hey, Dario, exactly in terms of altitude, you're growing these grapes in the Alps, right? So tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, we are not on the Alps, but we are on the highest hill right before the Alps. Altitude for us is very important because, as I told, it gives a cooler climate and also the freshness, and is the perfect habitat for a grape varietal like Pinot Grigio. Um, the freshness and the reach and intensity of the perfumes of the wine is a typical expression of altitude wine. Uh, but I think altitude is also a philosophy. Um, it's being brave and push yourself over the limit, because it's accepting lower yields during the harvest, and also challenges during the growing and during the harvest season. So all these challenges are then rewarded with high quality wines, and this is what makes us keep going with the good work. We always, each year, we try to plant new vineyards to push our limit, and and it's a passion for us.
Speaking of passion, let's taste the wine, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. Well, first of all, Alto Vento Pinot Grigio delle Venezie, consumer-friendly opening. So the pickup for the people in the trade, in the in the on-premise, but also for home consumption. And the wine has a straw yellow color. At the nose, it has citrus, lime, a little bit of jasmine as well. And then in the mouth, there is white peach and white flowers, and a very clean taste. There is freshness and a clean wine, but it's not a watery Pinot Grigio at all. It has some character, and I think the altitude and the thermal excursion is what gives this character, this uniqueness of Pinot Grigio.
The beauty of this wine is you get that really beautiful aromas and that really intense perfume, and that to me, talks about the low yields and how the grape actually gets these intense flavors. Dario, thank you so much, grazie. And we're going to switch gears now and move to the west. Dario, we'll be back. We're going to ask you some questions afterwards, but we're going to move to the west and we're going to talk to Stefan Doktor about 50-degree Riesling. Stefan, hi. Tell us a little bit about the 50-degree Riesling wine.
Hi, Nicola. Hi, everybody. I'm so grateful that I can talk to you again after 1 week. Thank you for your attention and for your interest. So I am here again to introduce you the brand 50-degree latitude, which is a very modern product from very old winery. As you know, I am the managing director from Schloss Johannisberg, which is the oldest Riesling producer in the whole world. Since 300 years. We have Riesling only in our vineyard. And 10 years ago, we got the idea to create a new wine. And the idea was to make uncomplicated, easy to drink wine. Why uncomplicated? Because the life is so complicated at itself. And in those days, even more like ever before. So let's go to drink easy drinkable wine, to make the life easy and uncomplicated. That was the idea behind it. And that's why we go in this direction to make it very modern and serving by the glass, drinking every day to make the life easy. So what is mean this 50 degree? We are signing the northern latitude absolutely on the top of the earth. So means we are lying very northern. Northern as our region, there are no grapes anywhere, because to make a high quality of the wine, it will be already too cold. If you look into the map, you see we are lying approximately in the middle of the Germany, very close to the city of Frankfurt. So if when you fly to Frankfurt, you need only 30 minutes driving by the car to come to us on Schloss Johannisberg. And you see that as well, close to Schloss Johannisberg, to our castle, there is a park, there are trees, there is a forest, and that's everything makes the climate very cold. So what does this mean? In the world of wine growing, there are three very specific conditions you need for wine growing: humidity, heat, and sunlight. And on this 50-degree northern latitude, you see probably how close we are already to Northern Sea. So that means mostly for the sunlight and for the length of the sunlight. Because when you are going northern, in the northern region, the days are going during the summertime very long. So the sun is going up early in the morning at 5:30 a.m. and sunset is in 10:30 p.m. So you have very long days, very long sunshine, and that's exactly what the Riesling as a grape variety need to get a lot of time to develop all its aroma and flavors. This is the one thing. The other thing on the 50-degree northern latitude is that because of the northern position, the nights are very cold. And if you get such night cold temperature, this is slowing down the ripeness of the grapes. So the vegetation is slowing down, and so you have a very long period of growing of the grapes. You see a very good look into the vineyards of Schloss Johannisberg on the castle, very close to Rhine River, and that everything what plays together a very important role. The Rhine River is spending you humidity, is spending you heat, because it's very important to keep the climate very stable. And then on the north side is coming the cold wind, the cold air, and they are coming to each other exactly in the middle of the vineyard. And when you are staying in the middle of the vineyard, you feel the heat from down and you feel the cold in your back. And this makes thermic in the vineyard and makes perfect condition to bring some specific kind of the wine with huge aroma, intensity, light-bodied, high acidity. That's what we need, and that's what we are looking for. Let's talk a little bit more about the terroir. So the grapes are on the smooth hills toward the Rhine River. Toward the Rhine River, absolutely southly faced. Why? Because the river is flowing from east into the west, and the hills are southly faced. So you have very good sunny influence. You have the warmth from the Rhine River, and the steep slopes are built by quartz. This is a quartz, it's a stone, where is our vineyards built, and you see probably that the color is red. Why is the color red? Because there is a lot of iron in the soil, and I'm sure when we will taste the wine, you will feel the light-bodied wine, but you feel the structure which is coming through the metal in the soil as well. That's one of very important conditions for wine like this. Yes, this when you look on the vineyards from Schloss Johannisberg, what you have on your picture, this is southly faced slope, and the 50-degree latitude is following into the eastern part. And if you follow this 50-degree northern latitude and you go into the USA and Canada, you will go in the city like a Winnipeg or Calgary, and you can imagine how cold is there, and then it's probably impossible to make a wine in Calgary. But just to follow this latitude, you will see how northern are we placed. So the wine is fermented in stainless tank. So we are working very modern. We can manage the temperature during the fermentation. The grapes are harvested very gently. Everything is picking by the hand. Then we have a very gently pressing fermentation into the stainless tank. Fermentation speed approximately 4 weeks. And then we stay on the yeast for 2 months to get a little bit more structure, similar like Surly, as you know what I mean. And on the end, we have very modern, very fruity, and intensive wine, which is perfectly suitable for any connection with food.
Wow, every time I listen to you, Stefan, I learn something new. You're amazing. I want you in the field with me every day selling Riesling, because you're so charismatic and energetic, and I love hearing about Riesling and how passionate you are. 10:30 is I had no idea that the sun went down at 10:30. That's amazing. Let's taste the wine.
Yes, just a short story to the 10:30 time. I don't know if I told you already, but maybe you get noticed that Germany won twice in a row Olympic Games in the beach volleyball. 8 years ago, men, 4 years ago, women, and this not happened by chance. Why? You know why? Because we are playing beach volleyball for so long into the evening. We have light. So the sun is going down 10:30 in the evening. That's perfect, but only during the summer period. So let's go for the wine. 50-degree northern latitude. We try to get very modern, good feeling and haptic on our label. So let's look what's happening in the glass.
Stefan, have you guys built a volleyball court at the Schloss Johannesburg yet? Is that something that's upcoming?
Yeah, so I really love this game. That's why I'm explaining about it, and so I'm passionate volleyball player. Even I am pretty small.
I love it.
So let's talk about the wine. So if you turn the wine in the glass, it needs a lot of oxygen. That's why I'm really turning the wine in the glass. As a first, you have very high intensity of the aromas, and that's something what Riesling really can do, and what really the Riesling make because of the cold climate conditions. If you try to make a Riesling in a sunny and warm California, you will get the wine, but you will never get this strong aroma, this high intensity of the flavor. So then you feel a lot of fruitiness. We had a lot of citrus fruits because of cold climate, so like lemon and some grapefruit notes. Then you have notes of ripe, stony, yellow stone fruit, like a peach, for example, peaches and apricots. As well, a hint of exotic fruits like a pineapple, some herbal notes as well. And the most important thing is the taste. So let's drink. Wow. Similar like on the nose, you have huge intensity of the taste. You need your patient to feel the acidity. Right now it's approaching slowly the acidity. It's cleaning your palate from any kind of sugar you feel in the beginning of the taste. And then I hope you feel the perfect balance. Yesterday evening, I got a tasting with James Sackling regarding the new range of Schloss Johannesburg and 50 degree. And on this wine from vintage 2019, he told to me, this is the perfect balance. Perfect balance wine. And this is then what we are looking for. Not just to create wine with huge intensity and light bodied and low alcohol. And at first row, we look for perfect balance, perfect harmony to get enjoyable, pleasant taste in your mouth. And the second, you need very good food for wine like this. And the first rule is if you get a high taste intensity if the wine, you need high intensity in the food. So look like for things like crab cake, for something which is huge intensity like Asian cuisine, or some kind of curry, for example, which vegetable as well. Vegetable curry works absolutely perfect. And in the terms of healthiness, just turn the bottle and look of things like 11% volume alcohol, pretty low. That's mean you drink a bottle of the Riesling within 30 minutes and you can go into the car and drive it back home. I hope.
I can't wait till this COVID is over so we can get Dario and Stefan into the market, because these are two people that love to sell. You can tell. Dario was opening the cap and explaining how easy it is to open an on-premise, and Stefan's over there making your mouth water with every word that comes out of his mouth. Let's move into a little bit of a question and answer session. We only have like 3 minutes. It's amazing. The first question that we had was from for Dario, actually. Dario, what else makes the Pinot Grigio grape so difficult to cultivate like Pinot Noir? I know you kind of discussed it really quickly, but can you go a little further, maybe a little deeper on it?
Well, yes. So as I said, it is mutation of Pinot Noir. So the cluster of the grapes are very thick. So it's the weather and it needs a cooler climate. This is because we don't want the humidity to stick inside the bunch. That's why the vento, the wind, help us to keep the bunch dry. And also the soft pressing. Stefan said the same with the Riesling. It's very, very important for white wines to be to undergo a soft pressing and to be pressed as soon as possible after harvest, because they start to cook, the grapes start to cook if they are not pressed immediately. And the added value of Alto Vento is that our facilities are right next to the vineyard. So we soft press the grapes after few hours, just the time of the short transportation.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dario, for that explanation. I had a question for Stefan. They wanted to know, can you give us, by the way, sales team and everyone on the call, the Riesling, the 50-degree Riesling is coming from Schloss Johannesburg, the house that has 100-point wines, and the price point for the 50-degree Riesling, even with the tariff, is tremendous. The wines are fantastic. Someone asked a little bit about the difference between the grapes that you select for the 50-degree Riesling versus the Gelblack. Is there something that maybe you can share with us? Is it a different location? Is it a little lower in the vineyard, closer to the water? Is it higher? Tell us about it, Stefan.
To be honest, the grapes for 50-degree Riesling are not coming directly from the single vineyard Schloss Johannesburg, because the single vineyard Schloss Johannesburg is not really big. It's a 125 acre. So that means we have some vineyard close to Schloss Johannesburg, but the single vineyard doesn't call Schloss Johannesburg. They are only on this direction of 50-degree latitude, and it's all the vineyards are within the small wine growing region called Rheingau, which we saw on the map. And that's the difference. To be honest, they are higher located as they for the Schloss Johannesburg. Schloss Johannesburg has a altitude between 115 and 185 meter above to sea level. But the region Rheingau is climbing a little bit higher, so the places for a 50-degree are a bit higher, up to 300 meters above the sea level, very close to the zone of the forest. On the top there are a lot of forest, and this zone under the forest are bringing this lightness in the wine, lower sugar concentration, lower alcohol.
Interesting. So the 50-degree Riesling is actually a little higher altitude than the Schloss Johannesburg wines. I can't believe that 30 minutes already has passed. It's amazing how quickly time can fly, especially with great information, great people talking about the wines. Dario, Stefan, I thank you so much. Dario, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you for a close, and then after Dario, you can hand it to Stefan. Thank you so much for everything, for all the information. It's been wonderful.
Grazie, Nicola. Thank you, team, for having me during this webinar. Just remember, Pinot Grigio is still a hot category, a huge category, and especially in time of crisis, like everybody, but you especially are experiencing. People try to be safe and drink what they know, and so Alto Vento Pinot Grigio can be a wine, a perfect wine for this time. Thank you again, team. Now it's your turn. Thank you for your support, and I'll handle to Stefan to wrap up and close.
Thank you, Dario. Thank you, Nicola. Thank you, all of you. It was a big pleasure for me. And as Dario said, I can just say the same. A Riesling can save the world, but it can't save the day. Don't forget and enjoy.
Salute. Thank you so much, everyone. Danke. Grazie. Have a great rest of the weekend. Thank you, Salesforce.
Thank you.
And team. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye now.